every single time we participate in a 48, magic happens.
48 is a blast.
So the 48 is really special to me because it allowed me to kind of get back into independent filmmaking.
I call it film boot camp for a reason.
Shooting a 48-hour film is wild.
It's the unknown. It's a challenge.
I try not to think about the fact that it was a 48. It was just, I really like the idea of a condensed project where you have the idea today and by tomorrow night you have to have a finished product.
That's the main upside I like about the 48 though, is it's all planned and it's going to be in this 2-day span that you're going to make a film, which is a challenge, obviously, but in my experience, a challenge like that brings out the creativity.
David McKenna, who was co-producer on the film and he acted in it, we always work on projects here locally in Jacksonville, and he wanted to throw his name in a hat for one more city this year.
Well, I think it's really cool to branch out, and really, see how different cities do things, get judged by different people that you normally wouldn't be judged by, and I think it's really cool that the 48 allows you to do that.
Yeah, you're able to compete in any city as long as you have somebody that's at that location where the drawing's being held.
My wife's cousin lives in Orlando, so she said, I'll just go down to Orlando and me and my cousin will go and we'll draw the genre for you guys, so you guys can stay up in Jacksonville and do the writing and then prep and then get to shooting.
How it rolls out is that we're usually at an event and we pull the genre and element and line and character name, and then we're off and running. And that usually means the writer is off and running.
I think it's really fun because I like the challenge and I like writing stories, so the elements add a sense of adventure to me.
You draw your genre, you have the possibility of drawing a normal one, a comedy, drama, something like that. Or you have also the more difficult genres, like musical or silent film or Western. Usually those genres are the ones that, if we draw one of these, no matter what the other one is, we're doing the other one.
We drew silent film or musical.
Oh man, every time you have a 48, there's a chance you're going to draw a genre that is going to be a challenging one.
The fact that you were wanting musical and pulled musical is a feat within itself, because it's basically just random chance pulling a genre out of a hat to get that.
When I got our group message and it said we got musical, I almost had a panic attack.
It's very suspenseful. You don't know what you're going to end up with as a character or as a storyline. So being prepared, you're just kind of trying to mentally prepare yourself for whatever may come.
But luckily we kind of prepared for musical. We had a few of our actors that have a musical background, whether it was, musical theater or they're just singers in general.
And a writer who can write music and also, write script. And a cinematographer and editor that specialize in music videos stuff. So we thought that was a recipe for success.
I don't want to say we got lucky getting musical, but it wasn't as bad as it would be for some teams.
And it's incredible how the universe allows things to fall into place exactly how they're supposed to.
I was blown away. It's insane. There's very few teams that could just whip a musical out of nowhere, and I can proudly say that we're definitely one of them.
A guy comes over to see an apartment, the girl shows him all around, and he thinks, it's too good to be true. And then she tells him the catch. And the catch is that they are writing a musical and he has to be part of it. And then, at the end, he wants to sign up for it and he's not that great of a singer.
Amy Ortiz writing and having the opportunity to touch the musical genre was very exciting.
Well, normally I'm sitting in a chair at a desk typing on a computer and the room isn't moving. So I have that going for me. This time it was a little bit different because I had forgotten to bring my computer on a road trip. So all I had was my phone and I was typing the script and everything I was doing was on my phone in a moving vehicle while I was driving. No, just kidding. Someone else was driving.
When we asked Amy to write, we know Amy's a great writer. That's why we asked her to be on it. We had no idea that she had written songs that we were going to be able to use.
I was in a band years ago, and I had all of these, songs, and I just so happened to have the instrumental versions of the songs in an email, that I was able to access from my phone. So that made it pretty convenient.
Not only is she great at writing, but she's also great at writing songs.
Amy Ortiz is fantastic.
I had no idea that Amy had a song that she owned the rights to that we were going to want to use, but she did.
And all I had to do was write new lyrics for this really old song.
She has a very polished style of writing.
I always do when especially with 48s, is I figure out what is the whole story from beginning to end, as if I was telling it to somebody in a story form.
She could easily write for studio because she's hitting those. She can do what I cannot do.
If we didn't have her, God knows, oh man, there's no telling what kind of song we would have came up with.
When we did get the information the next morning from Amy Ortiz, it just fell into place beautifully.
So the process began in the car listening to the original song that it was based off of, so I could learn the melody, because otherwise I wasn't going to be able to teach it to anybody. And then I got the actual words in front of me of the version we were going to sing. I had to sit down and learn as much of the content as I could before I could even bring it to the other singers.
And they all sang it together. And we did like 2-3 takes of it. I think like 2 takes of it. And from what I hear, the editor said that they just used pretty much one take of everybody. Everybody just lined up the lip sync.
So that process was a little difficult, a little tricky, because we just got the song that morning. So not only did we have to sing and record it in a closet, we also had to remember the lines to the song while we were acting and performing the shots for the film.
When the time came to record it in our little closet setup, and you listen in the little earpiece, that you have to remember what you did, not what the original singer was doing.
She had to remember what she was doing in the recording studio earlier that morning, so she wasn't doing exactly what the playback was. She had to remember what she did.
You have to make sure, especially with our song, which was a fast rock song, that all of your breathing is correct, that you're in the right key, your pitch is right, there's no sharp or flat moments. And it was a huge challenge. I knew that repetition was my best friend, and that I needed to just hear it and sing it with everybody again and again and again.
That was a little overwhelming because everybody else that didn't get a musical in the 48, their job was to come up with a story, write a script, and then start shooting. And we had this added step.
We learned the song really, really quick. I felt I was surprised by that. I didn't think that we were going to be able to learn it that quickly, but it was almost like, I think we ran over it a couple of times, maybe like 4 or 5 times, and then I thought it sounded really, really good.
The musical piece gave us the opportunity, without her knowledge, what we did was we broke it up into many genres.
All the differences I loved, and that's what made it seem like it was a real musical, because there's no musical where everybody sounds the same, I don't think. If there is, it's not a good one,
So once we got all the singers together and we heard everybody's distinct voices, that's what kind of brought about the idea of each singer having their own genre to their voice.
So that made it cool where it kind of varied things up. And it made it funny too, because Amy went like way over the top with her country twang, and then Clayton went way over the top with his rock star. And then Olivia, she's like breaking glasses and stuff with the way she's doing her opera tone. It's without them coming up with the idea of everyone doing different genres of music, then none of that would have happened.
Mine was more based off of pop/musical, because that's my style of voice. Olivia was opera, Amy was country, and Clayton was this very much like grunge rock.
The process of all of us finding our own voices, I feel like went really well. I love country music, so I kind of felt like that was going to be the easiest route for me to go. Not only do I like it, but I felt like my voice it made sense with my voice.
Royce, being the director for this film, he really gave us our own way to interpret the story through the actors. He let us kind of off the leash, so to speak.
I think that they pulled it together really well, where we all got to shine and show, what we were capable of and putting our own spin on it. So that was fun. And not only putting our own spin on it vocally, but also with the costumes too, which I really loved that part.
It was absolutely perfect for us as a team. And then you add the costumes. I already had those costumes, and that made it even more fun. Because when you're creating something, a piece of art, you want to have any resource that you can imagine and have.
My mom has so many costumes in her garage, and it was just like we were all just randomly pulling stuff.
Going and changing in between scenes was definitely, it can be exhausting. You don't realize how exhausting it is to change clothes when it's 8 times in one day. But it was so much fun, and every single costume that all the characters were wearing was very unique and so fun to play with. And I think it gave the editor and the team a lot of options when it came to color in the film, because there was such vibrancy in all of the costumes.
The wardrobe changes was actually my favorite part, because specifically Clayton, every time he would come out in a new outfit, it was the most hilarious thing ever. Like, I have so many pictures on my phone of him. We just died laughing, watching all of his different wardrobe changes.
With me going through so many wardrobes, thank God for my fiance Lindsay Morgan, who helped me with that. But it was actually a good way to put it is like NASCAR. It was like a pit stop every time. We said cut with a scene, then I was back in the dressing room and she was dressing me into her favorite outfits. So that was a lot of fun too.
They just jumped into character and everything just flowed really, really nicely.
It's always a pleasure to work with so many experienced filmmakers on a set and being able to work together in that form.
I think what helped me is to have such a generous crew who were patient with me and who weren't judgy or like, come on, we're on a time crunch, but just to be like, okay, let's try it again, no worries, was very helpful.
I always like to see my fellow actors be creative and what they're doing. So just being a physical presence on the scene, I thought I made my presence known.
I've done music videos for 15, 20 years now, and even when I'm not doing music videos, even in my short films, feature films, everything that I do with film always has some kind of music-driven element to it.
I had no idea that Durden had shot music videos before. I really didn't. I'd seen things Durden shot, but what I saw of his that he shot that I liked weren't music videos. But then as we're doing it, oh wait, no, Durden shot music videos before, and he knew exactly what to do to make it like it's a music video, which helped tremendously.
Oh, Durden just runs with it. He has such a creative mind, and I never know what he's going to whip out. We were talking earlier and how he was just kind of whipping his camera back and forth to get the right shots that he needed was one of the most creative things, and it turned out to be very beneficial in the editing process. He's one of those guys where you can just give him a rough idea and he's going to run with it in any way he can.
To see Durden do his thing was, seeing like Picasso paint a picture or something.
With this one, with Durden, we were able to just give him the idea, and he was perfect. It was everything that we needed it to be and then some.
I know this guy really knows what he's doing.
I don't know, it's just, when there's music involved, it just the music seems to do most of the work. You just got to listen to it.
They just, they put their heart and soul into it, and it was a great shoot.
Yeah, we get done shooting, of course, and that worked. That was so smooth. We got done to 4:30 in the afternoon. Most times on a 48, you're shooting until the night,
And my goodness, started at 8, started filming at 11. I was out the door at 4:30.
That's why I continue to work with Royce. That's why I enjoy working with that whole crew, because there is that level of trust there, and it works both ways. I trust that the thing is going to get done. I trust that the writing is well, that all the actors will be on point, and I just think it works out both ways.
it was fun. It was fun process because I had never done a music video like that before.
They just brought it and had so much fun with it. And I think that you'll see it through the film.
Our cinematographer was our editor, which is actually perfect because he knew exactly how the pieces were going to line up in his head when he shot it.
Durden, he was the one who got no sleep because he decided, you know what, he's going to power through and he's going to take a little snooze and he's going to start editing. And then by, gosh, it was noon, I think, noon, 12:30, I got a phone call from Durden, or text, and said, come check it out, it's ready.
So we watched it, and then we looked at each other, and I said, I have no notes. I said, this is effing amazing.
I thought Durden did great. I mean, I've worked with Durden quite a few times now, and he always blows my mind with his editing process.
After they edit the film and everything, that's when you see the magic and all the hard work, and it's beautiful, man.
We arranged a get-together for cast and crew to watch it in the place we shot it.
I was so excited, I just kept telling Royce and David to keep on playing it back like 5 to 6 times just so I could gather and take in everything that we did.
Watching the film for the first time was really exciting.
I was surprised, but in the best way possible.
The finished film is absolutely ridiculous to me, in the best way possible.
I think it came out great, and it was so beautifully well done, and it was probably the easiest set I've ever been a part of.
Like, I'd seen the script, I was clearly there for set day and watching everybody run around, but always when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to like envision it in your head unless you already have that vision there. So as a more creative and acting inside of it, I was like just ready to go to bed afterward, thought about it for a little bit, and then I finally saw the finished product and was just blown away.
I loved everything that was done and everything that was added, like when Clayton sits up, because I hated that I was rhyming like Penelope with P, you know, like, but I just couldn't think of anything else. And so his little like thing where he sits up and he goes poop, I love that poop.
Oh my God, it's just a magnificent piece of work.
I just think it was one of the best short films that I've ever had the pleasure of working on.
When I watch it, I see all of the hard work we put into it, and I see those little moments of, oh, let me go put on my costume, and ooh, that doesn't really fit, and ooh, I forgot this line. All of that chaos is just what I'll take from this. And so watching that film, I don't really focus on how silly it is. I focus on the dedication of the cast and crew, and that I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
The very first time I saw it, I said, this is really good. However, I'm a realist, so I was like, you know, we're going to be competing with some of the greatest people in the universe.
I think one of the most nerve-wracking moments is after you're done, after you've submitted the film, and then the judges that you don't know in cities, you know, not even close to you, which is the best part. You don't know these people, so there's non-bias. They are just watching films from people they don't know, giving constructive feedback on how to do better or what they loved about it. And then you sit on your hands waiting to see what did they say and get the feedback. Sometimes that equals a nomination. Sometimes that equals multiple nominations in multiple categories. And to find out that you're nominated for one thing, much less multiple things, that is a high I hadn't had yet.
One thing that was different about Orlando is they put out who the best film nominations were.
The nominations come in, and it seems like we're hitting all the major nominations.
So we already knew that we got nominated for best film, and we got nominated for a lot of stuff.
We got nominated for cinematography. We got nominated for the editing, the writing, the song, directing, acting nominations, and best directing, best film.
That was super exciting to be nominated for so many things.
I mean, like, I've gotten nominations before, but I had never gotten that many for any film that I'd been in at that point. So it was very exciting and gratifying to receive that many nominations on a film.
Coming from a person that had never been in a 48-hour film festival, I thought it was super exciting. I didn't expect that.
To hear that we were nominated in all these categories and that it was so well received meant so much to me, especially because it was my first 48-hour film.
We were surprised, not because we didn't think we were, we did a great job, but there's so many great films that we saw.
There were some really good ones, but I kind of just knew deep down after seeing them that we were something really special, and that I kind of knew we were going to win at least top 3.
Well, when we was nominated, I felt strong about our film, and for some kind of feeling, I kind of knew we was going to win. I don't know how I knew that, but I thought our film was just that good.
I just knew that we were going to win.
On awards night, when we showed up, all of us were dressed to the nines. We showed up like an entourage. We showed up all together.
I think we were all really proud of what we did, and it was exciting to just feel that energy of like the anticipation.
We accomplished a great film, we felt, so there's a win there all by itself.
We knew that as a team, even if we didn't win, that we were still really proud of what we made.
Our cinematographer editor couldn't make it.
The Orlando 48 was probably the best awards show that I've never attended.
Something always comes up with Durden. He can never make it to any of these events.
When you compete into a different 48 than one maybe you're able to attend, you have the opportunity to be in a group chat.
I was already a little delirious, and getting all these messages. I've never won to that degree, or really any degree, at a film festival. So it kind of felt like a fever dream.
You hear all these things, like being here, we got nominated for this one. Being here, we got nominated for that one.
As the energy's, getting higher and higher, we won this, we won this, we won this. I mean, we're just super excited.
When they get down to saying what the first place was, it was either going to be us or 2 other films. And those other 2 films were pretty good.
I felt like that if we got the direction award, then chances are we're going to be definitely up there in those top 2, if not number 1.
I was like, I held my breath, because I was like, if those other teams win, it'll be deserving.
You just don't know what the judges are looking for. You just don't know if the judges are going to go one way or the other.
Then he started, going down the line.
And in this case,
and the winner is...
the judges saw.
So, like, time slowed down. The moment I heard free, I was already like, oh my God.
Exactly what they needed to see.
It's like, we won.
What? We won?
And then when they finally announced, yes, roommates, oh God, thank God.
Yeah, man, it's a feeling I love. I strive for it.
That was insane. It was quite a long wait for that turnaround to hear back if we had won or not. So it was just constantly waiting. With that many nominations, you're like, we at least won something, right? Like, so by the time we found out that we won, I was practically jumping for joy. I was so excited.
And then to win most of the things we were nominated for, that was cool.
When I found out that we had actually won, I was a little bit in disbelief.
Just the fact that we did win was an amazing feeling to feel with a group of your friends. No one can ever take that from you.
To see all of that go down there, that was exciting, man. That was amazing,
And then to hear that we won was so humbling, and I was just full of so much pride in my castmates and my crew for how dedicated we were.
Every one of our team just leapt in the air 10 feet.
We were all just so ecstatic because as a group, it was our first time collectively all winning 48 together.
We just screamed and cried, and it was just a really special moment.
And it was so awesome to represent Jacksonville in a different city that way, especially in Orlando where there's a lot of talent.
I immediately called up Adam and Monique Madrid, and they are the 48-hour producers here in Jacksonville, Florida, and because they have been our best cheerleaders.
They watched the live stream of the award ceremony of Orlando, so they knew exactly when we won. They knew.
And they could have literally come through that phone. They were screaming, they were jumping, yelling, so happy, so happy.
And they said, we want to give it some Jacksonville love.
They decided to make a night where we're going to celebrate all the Jacksonville 48s, including the one that went to Orlando.
And when they did that, that was really the first time that our community saw it.
Because this was hometown love.
I definitely think that people were like, what? Hey, you know, Royce, he puts out stuff all the time. Congratulations. I think that it was an affirmation more than anything, is that, hey, it's about time.
And especially seeing Royce, you know, being able to win that, it was just really special. He had some tears, and I was just really proud of him because I know he puts in a lot of his time and energy and money and soul into it all, and that made me feel really good that we won it for him.
It's nice when the ones you've seen win things then congratulate you and say how much they liked your work.
I mean, it was the best feeling ever, just knowing that you work really hard on something and you get to kind of experience the fruits of that labor.
You know, everybody that wins the 48 wins for a reason. And it's one of those, respectfully, like, yes, absolutely, you deserve to win that. And so to be one of those teams that was a winner of the 48, where other people elected you for the whole project, like, you're the one that we felt like did the best, that is, oh man, I never want to replace that feeling. It's incredible.
We went up there and we accepted the awards for that, and I didn't fully process what that meant, that this is not the end of the line. If you win your city best film, you're going to the next level. Bunch of us are going to Lisbon.
Going to Portugal it's super exciting.
We won a 48-hour film project, which is something we've been wanting to do for a while. We got close before, didn't quite get there, but now we're in another city. We won that one. But the main thing, I wanted to go to Filmapalooza, and that's what this allowed us to do. You know, we win an individual city, and now we can go to Filmapalooza and see how we do against the rest of the world. It's a worldwide thing. We're going to be going against teams from Shanghai and from Tokyo and from Rome and from Paris, etc. I mean, it's and then of course all across the U.S. as well. You know,
and then have it go to an international scale where people on an international level are able to see what you've worked on. It's mind-blowing.
Roommates and Effing Musical. It's a musical. Well, music it's a universal language, so we think it'll transcend all that, and everybody will just have a rockin' good time.
I think we have the advantage because we do have a musical, and like Roy said, music is it transcends borders. It doesn't matter where you're from or what language you speak. Everybody can hear a beat, and our short is driven by a beat.
Roommates, being the musical genre, will definitely entertain, and it will definitely share a story. And if it can stop the madness for 7 minutes, I think that that we definitely have a chance.
I think it's a very different film that a lot of people will have not seen before. So I think that either way, we're going to be a very unique piece added into Filmapalooza.
I can't wait to see what happens. I think we do have a good chance because it is something so unique and so different.
Through this film that we got randomly selected for the 48, I feel like we had the best representation for what we wanted to contribute to film and to the team, and I think that'll just showcase itself as it continues to grow and go further and further. So I actually think it's going to do great.
Being able to, you know, take our best efforts, what we did, something we're really proud of, and put it up against the rest of the world and see how it does.
We're going to represent our city and our team, and when we stand on the world stage, on the world stage with other filmmakers, and also there is a Jacksonville winner.
So 2 Jacksonville teams are both going to Lisbon, Portugal for Filmapalooza, and it's insane to think that we even managed to make it that far on our side. because we competed in a whole different city, and getting to go with another team of ours and really support them and be there for them is quite an honor.
Not a lot of people are going to have a team go that they're actually buddies with. They actually know. So we've got 2 teams from Jacksonville going that know each other. So we'll have a little bit of a camaraderie already with the team that we're also competing against at the same time.
Yeah, it's coming for you, Duval.
I'm very hopeful that we will win. However, I've never seen all of the films that have won all of the various different cities, so I know there's going to be a lot of amazing contenders, and I know they'll all be amazing as well.
Make no mistake, I think that we possibly have a chance.
To go to Lisbon is it's almost like a once in a lifetime type of thing. It's like a dream, you know. You can say your art took you there. So that's a great accomplishment.
With this being my first 48-hour film, I had no idea how big it was actually going to be. So to hear that we are going overseas is just beyond exciting for me, and I'm so thankful. And I can't wait for a whole new group of people to see it, and I'm curious to know what they think of it, because we really poured our hearts into this and had so much fun doing it.
You always hope your next one's gonna be your best, because if your next one's not your best, and the best one's in the past, then you're standing still. You always want to be moving forward, and you know the fact that we are moving forward. We're going to Lisbon.
It's gonna be amazing.
I think that we're definitely going to see something big.